Hey everybody, it's PDubs, and a quick news update for you. Looks like potentially the next games being released from Iconic Arcade could be Double Dragon. Okay, guys, we are back. We're going to try and make this as quick for you as humanly possible. Noticing here that Iconic Arcade, a lot of you are familiar with it, covered it on my channel, coming out with new home arcade machines by Iconic Arcade, now partnering with John D and Media One Up. They got some Street Fighter cabinets up for pre-order. Link to their website in the video description below. What's interesting is I was on my lunch break here, and while I was on my lunch break, I noticed that we had this post in the Arcade One Up official group. Brandon Ming, big shout out to Brandon Ming for breaking the news on this, saying that Arc Systems Works sent out a tweet regarding Double Dragon and Iconic Arcade, which this is kind of coming out of left field and is a bit of a surprise as we kind of take a peek here at this tweet. This tweet just came out today, and I think there's a typo on it because on this particular tweet, it says Arc World Tours Finals 2024 official sponsor. Maybe they mean 2025? Maybe it's a typo. I mean, that can happen. There have been several times this year, guys, in my normal day job, I've put 2024 instead of 2025. Always happens when we roll over to the next year. So I'm wondering if this is a typo, but this tweet is from today, letting them know that Iconic Arcade is going to be sponsoring the tournament, as well as, or the finals for this, but also producing machines for people to play on, and they're going to be Double Dragon arcade machines. And catch all the action at the finals, Arc Systems Work, the Arc World Tour 2024. As we kind of dive in here, you'll notice that you got a Double Dragon arcade machine, and you also have a Double Dragon Revive arcade machine. Now, Double Dragon, of course, is the classic Double Dragon arcade game that a lot of us are familiar with. And then you have Double Dragon Revive, which is a brand new game that hasn't actually been released yet. It's not even supposed to be released on consoles and stuff until October of 2025 later this year. When I take a look at the machines here, you'll notice that these machines have like 6 buttons on each side, and the joysticks, at least on Revive, kind of makes sense for a modern console game that obviously is in the style of an arcade beat 'em up. Taking a look here at the Double Dragon machine, I noticed player 2 only has 3 buttons. Player 1, it appears that they also have 3 buttons. You could see these little orange arrows here, just like here. But then again, it could be 6, right? It could be 6, which is weird. Why would player 1 have 6 and player 2 only have 3? So again, but these are computer renders, right? So they're not final images, so who knows what these are. Now, when it comes to John D, Media One Up, getting licensing from Arc Systems Work to bring these games to us, you know, I'm reminded of my own personal opinions when it comes to Double Dragon. I've told you guys this. I always try to be as transparent with you guys as possible when it comes to our old arcade beat 'em up games that haven't aged well. There's a huge following for Double Dragon. A lot of people love this game, and just like Bad Dudes, and like I tell people so many times over the years, Bad Dudes, in my opinion, beat 'em up game has not aged greatly at all. And then when it comes to Double Dragon would be number 2 for me of the classic arcade side-scrolling beat 'em up games that didn't age well. They were, you know, the slowdown, the clunkiness, the stiff movement of the characters. Whereas there's plenty of classic arcade beat 'em up games that, in my opinion, are still super fun to play today, and they're much smoother and faster experiences. But then again, I know that a lot of people out there love those 2 beat 'em up games. I'm just not the biggest fan of them, but I do respect them for what they are. And then, of course, when it comes with Double Dragon Revive here, here's the trailer that got released just a couple of months ago. And what's interesting about this trailer is this is a brand new game. So why is it ending up on an arcade machine? Is the Raspberry Pi 5 with only 2 gigabytes that John and Iconic Arcade and Media One Up putting in their machine, is it going to be strong enough to run this game? Well, this game hasn't come out. I don't know the specs required to run this game, so I can't tell you that for certain. I don't know if they're just going to put PCs in these things or other consoles so people can enjoy these games at this tournament, or if they're actually going to be running it on their official Raspberry Pi 5 2 gigabyte RAM hardware devices that are going to be included on the Street Fighter game. So it's interesting that this is on there. I could actually see potential that this one might be one that is just there for the show, right? People are going to be playing this game, checking it out at the show, and maybe, just maybe the only one that John and Arc Systems Works, Iconic Arcade, maybe the only machine that they might actually release to the home arcade community might be just the original classic Double Dragon. But what would be interesting about that would be, hey man, if we take that original classic Double Dragon, but also throw the other Double Dragon games on there, even though they're not as popular, right? They're not as popular as the first game, right? Double Dragon 2, Double Dragon 3, and Double Dragon Revive. This is kind of an oddball. The question is are they making these machines specifically for this tournament, or is this also going to lead to official release down the road? We don't know that for certain. As of right now, it's just advertised to be there for the tournament only, but that doesn't mean that if these machines are well received, either before the end of this year or next year, you see these machines actually released to the home arcade community. If you do Double Dragon Revive and actually put it on an arcade machine and get it to run on whatever hardware is included, it would be nice too that they also include as bonus games all of the extra Double Dragon, Double Dragon 2, like Double Dragon 3, like a bunch of the Double Dragon classic arcade games included as well. And there's plenty of other games from Arc Systems Works that you might be able to put on these machines as well, kind of like what they're doing with that Capcom machine. But there you go, guys. Just a quick news update on this, and I definitely want to hear your feedback. Do you want to see a Double Dragon machines? And give me your thoughts, feedback, reactions below. Give us a thumbs up on the way out. And as always, my dudes, thank you for subscribing.